Hello there, welcome to Speaking of Business. I'm your host, Nancy Boyle, and today we're going to be talking about women entrepreneurs and the contributions that women make to the business community. Joining me on the first half of our show are Casey Paget with North Florida Financial Corporation, Jeannie Frederick with WSI, and Pixie Larizza with Pixie Glass. So, ladies, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Delighted to have you guys here today. But I'm going to start with you, Casey.
Okay.
And if you could tell a little bit about what it is that you do in your real life, and then we'll kind of get into more of the whole women in business stuff.
Okay. Well, in my real life with North Florida Financial, I have basically a dual role. I am a recruiting director, and I'm also a financial representative, and we are one of the largest financial planning firms in the state.
Excellent. Jeannie?
I am with WSI. We are a digital marketing company, and my family doesn't even know what that means, but basically I do all things internet, website development, SEO, social media, blogging, anything you can think of online.
Anything online?
Yes.
Excellent. Pixie?
I'm the creative person in the room. I paint on glass, ceramics, stemware vases. It's a contemporary glass art studio. Also give classes, people who want to learn how to paint and have fun, and it's all about being creative and tapping into that part of our spirit.
And you do lovely work, I might add.
Thank you.
We own a few pieces in our household. Let's talk about women in business. And I know, Pixie, you were a little more familiar with the survey that was done, I think, last year through Women Business Owners, correct?
Yes.
And why don't you share a little bit about really the magnitude of how women are impacting business and how many women are getting into business for themselves?
Well, we do know that women-owned businesses are the fastest growing demographic of business that are being started up. And that women in the corporate world, as well as individual, that we have the tendency to get more things done. Communication styles make board meetings go easier, and that there's less procrastination. So it's a wonderful thing to see women. I think too, at that kind of 50-ish range, I see a lot of clients that come in and say, I want to start something, I want to do something, and they take their corporate experience and they turn it into an entrepreneurship.
Well, and if you think about it, you know, and those of us of a certain age remember the proverbial glass ceiling, which maybe has been raised a little bit for a lot of women, but in most cases it's still there. And I think when you bump your head against that glass ceiling enough, you go, wait a minute, this hurts, I'm going to do something different. And I think that may also be another reason why women are taking control of their economic situation and starting their own businesses. So, now ladies, you are all members of Women Business Owners, and we're here to talk about an upcoming event. But let's talk about WBO at first, okay? So I'll start with you, Casey.
Okay.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about WBO and why you got involved?
Well, WBO has really been a great factor in my life. I had a custom painting business many years ago, and that's when I started with WBO. And when I transitioned into the financial services industry, it was great education and mentoring that I've always looked for with WBO, and basically the relationships that you build with other women business owners is very key to being a member of WBO.
Okay. I think it's important too, especially if you're in a small business, that you have peers at your level that you can, because you can have conversations with peers at your level versus your employees.
Absolutely.
Right? Jeannie, why don't you tell us a little bit about your experience with WBO?
Well, pretty much I'm a sole practitioner, and so there's not a lot of brainstorming to do by yourself. And truly, when you have a challenge that comes into your business, there's always somebody in WBO who's been there, done that, and can help you resolve those challenges. And just the friendship has been invaluable to me.
Pixie, your turn.
Same for me. I started my business as a sole practitioner, and after about 18 years, I was looking for something to expand myself and be able to run ideas and questions by when I thought, well, what is my next step? Where do I want to go? That's the great thing about women business owners. I know that when I'm talking with someone, I'm dealing with the business owner, the decision maker, and there's a great sisterhood and support network there, not only professionally, but personally as well.
Okay, and WBO is more than just a professional organization. There are a lot of things that the members in the organization does for the community. And so let's first start with the Women in Business Awards. And Casey, I know you're chairing that committee. So why don't we talk a little bit about that? I know in the second half of our show we're going to get into the other program. So
the Women in Business Awards this year, I'm very excited about it. It's going to be held on March 31st. at the UNF University Center. We have a wonderful speaker, Margaret Mag Black-Scott, with Beverly Hills Wealth Management, and we typically bring in about 50 different sponsors and trade shows, as well as 400 attendees because of the awards luncheon for our awardees.
So, I'm sorry, what was the date again, March?
March 31st,
All
from
right.
10 to 2 at the UNF University Center.
And so anybody in our audience, if they're interested,
Anybody.
they can come.
Yes, they can. We'll give you the website to go to and sign up today.
Okay, so now let's talk about this, because you've got honorees. I mean, you
Yes.
have women who have been nominated for these different awards. So what are the awards?
Do you want to cover that? or-
Go ahead.
Okay. Yes, we have four different categories, one being pioneer, another one being corporate leader. We have an established up-and-coming entrepreneur, and then we have an established entrepreneur. And these four different categories, we actually received nominations from a number of different members as well as non-members. So anyone can nominate someone for this categories. It goes through quite a selection process and judging process, and then they're awarded, the finalists are shown in the next month or two, and then they have to get the actual award that day.
Okay. Jeannie, what is your role on this committee?
I am the sponsorship chair.
Okay, let's talk
Yes, so I
sponsorship.
can't talk nominations. I'm better at sponsorship.
Okay.
So we have several different levels of sponsorship, starting at about $175 and going all the way up. Every sponsorship level, you don't just give us money and we put your logo on something, but there's really a lot of benefits to each sponsorship. Right now, we're really looking for a speaker sponsor, and they'll be actually have some stage time and introduce the speaker, and it's really a great opportunity to showcase your business. So that's first and foremost right now.
Okay. And Pixie, I know you've been involved with WBO in all aspects. Talk about your experience with this event, because I know you've been intimately involved with it over the years as president of the organization, on the committee, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, I started out as trade show chair way back when, and that was really fun because it was great to bring companies together. And they don't have to be companies within WBO. And even the award winners do not have to be WBO members. In 2008, I was fortunate enough to be awarded the Pioneer Award, and that was really kind of life-changing. It was nice to be acknowledged for something that I had done over an 18-year period. And they say it takes 20 years to be an overnight success.
So you were ahead of the game.
I was ahead of the
All
game. I was
right.
ahead of the game. It's really a dynamic way to spend a good morning and afternoon, because you run into people that maybe you haven't seen since the year before. It's a great networking opportunity to be able to see what people are doing now, what changes they've made in their businesses. Maybe they've started something and they're now in the trade show, where last year they were just talking about something they were going to do in business. And as Casey said, our speakers typically are just very dynamic, moving, inspiring, emotional at times, and that's what we want to do. We want to impact the community and draw as many women, and of course men, into the arena as possible, and let them see how we celebrate the women in our community.
Well, and let's talk about the award winners, okay? And from your experience in either talking to these women or whatever, what's kind of the benefit to them that they get either when they're nominated or when they win an award? So I'll throw that out to anyone.
Well, as a pioneer,
What was interesting is that two ladies nominated me, but I wrote my own nomination, which was really being introspective as a business owner and going back and recounting all the things that happened. That was very powerful because it showed me, again, I relived it. I thought, wow, I have done some really cool things over the last 18 years. And then there's, of course, the publicity. There's the year of reign, almost, of having that award title. And there's a lot of speaking opportunities associated with that. I probably did at least a half a dozen between Rotary and Southside Businessmen's Club and other organizations. And that was nice. So I expanded my purview even more in terms of meeting business owners.
if I could expand on that, and just at this last meeting, each and every year we bring back the award winners for a panel to share with our WBO membership at our dinner meeting what it meant to them, what they learned of it, and we have basically some questions of how it impacted them for their business.
Excellent. Now, let's walk through the nominate. First of all, let me ask you, are you still accepting nominations
Nope.
for this year? Okay,
Nominations
so we're
are
closed for this year.
closed for this year,
So
but
if
we are-
anybody's interested,
For next year,
they need to get
yes.
the name in
Yes.
throw the hat in the ring for next year.
Absolutely.
Okay. let's talk about the nomination, kind of walk through that whole process, because it is a process. It's not like, oh, here's an application, check off yes or no.
It is a process. We have a specified period of time for allowing nominations, and when it closes off, it's done. Then there's a complete selection process that our selection chair and co-chair go through, and then following that, there's actually a judging process, and it's based on a point system that's very calculated, and so it's such a long process that they're very diligent in what they're doing. And I really appreciate our chairs this year, are Deb Evison and Mary Fisher, and I'm very fortunate to have such a great selection committee.
Well, good. Jeannie, I'm going to come back to you and your sponsors.
Yes.
Let's say somebody's in the audience and they're thinking, geez, I might be interested in that. What should they do? And, what should they do? What do they get, kind of thing?
Okay, what they should do, first of all, is they should go to our website, wbonfl.org.
Okay.
And we have what we call a sign me up form. If they go to that form, it explains all levels of sponsorship and exactly what they get for their
Whatever
money.
level.
Exactly. Or if they have, if they have more questions, they certainly can call me at 904-400-1144. I'll be happy to talk to anybody about sponsorships or any more information that they might be interested in.
Okay. I think, the other question that I had is, do you need to be a WBO member to be a sponsor?
Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely
So this
not.
is another way to try and involve as many women in business, or
Yes.
those that support women in business,
Yeah.
to participate.
Right. If I could say one thing too,
Sure.
this is to celebrate and uplift the
Yes.
women in the community. It's not just WBO members that are the winners, but it's the entire community. So we want to involve the community as much as we can. And it's a large event. We have upwards of 450 to 500 people that attend this event. So it's a pretty big deal. It's our signature event.
And you can buy a ticket to come. You don't have to do a sponsorship table or just, $40, go to the website, and we'd love to see people there.
Okay, and let's go through the particulars, the who, what, why, when, where. Again, I'm going to
Okay.
turn that to you, Ms.
All right.
Chairperson.
Well, where is the UNF University Center on March 31st from 10 to 2. We'll start the trade show at 10. We'll break for a lunch and awards program, and then follow up with the trade show ending at 2 p.m.
Okay, and if I'm interested, where do I go?
WBONFL.org, and like I say, you can always call me at 904-599-2588 as well. We'll be happy to answer any questions.
Okay.
And may I add one thing?
Absolutely.
I do want to share that our speaker, Meg Black-Scott,
good.
she is actually being very generous in giving her speaker fee to the Hubbard House.
Oh, that's
so
great.
it's a great, thing for her to be doing, and I just think that everyone needs to be aware that's a great thing for her to be doing for us.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, now, real quickly, I'm going to throw a monkey wrench in this. I'm going to ask you each, what has been the biggest challenge in growing your business? I'm going to start with you, Casey.
For me, it's always time management. That's because I have a dual role. But I love what I do, and I love working with other women. So it's a blessing in disguise.
Okay.
I'd have to say the same thing, time management and prioritizing, one minute you're wearing the financial hat, the next minute you're out getting clients, you're doing the sales thing, the next minute you have to deliver your products. So it's just a time management priority issue for
Okay.
me.
Mine's marketing. I'm the creative brain. I just want to go have fun, create, and then say, you take it, you sell it, and I have to go out and knock on the doors. So I still do that, but not as graciously as I probably could.
But you're learning.
I'm learning.
And your cohorts are helping you with
Most
that.
definitely, most
So,
definitely. That's a great thing about WBO as well, the referral process. When people know what you do, they're happy to talk about it for you.
Excellent. Ladies, I want to thank you very much for being here. And you in the audience, stay tuned. We've got more coming. But remember, the Women in Business Awards ceremony is on March 31st, and you can go to WBONFL.org for more information. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Some moments in my life I will never forget. When I was 7, I got my first fishing pole. 17, I bought my first boat. 37, I had the job I loved most. Remember the things you love about the St. Johns River. Cherish them. It may not be the same tomorrow.
Hello there. Welcome back to Speaking of Business. Again, I'm your host, Nancy Boyle. And on the second half of our show, we're going to be talking about a program for teenage girls to teach them about entrepreneurship. So joining me on the second half again is Pixie Larizza with Pixie Glass and Tiffany Mackey with Junior Achievement. So welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nancy.
Tiffany, I'm going to start with you since
Sure.
you're new to the show at the moment. Tell us about what you do at Junior Achievement.
I am the Vice President of Programs for Junior Achievement. I am filling in for our JA Girls program. We have educational materials for students 5 to 18. We focus on 3 pillars. That's financial literacy, entrepreneurship, and career readiness.
Okay.
We have a gender-based program, JA Girls, that recruits local women, could be business owners, they could work in any array, could be a stay-at-home mom, to come in and facilitate our programs to the girls and become mentors.
Excellent. And Pixie, let's talk a little bit about Pixie Glass again.
Pixie Glass is a contemporary glass art studio. I paint anything that is glass, ceramic, vase, votive, wine glasses, mirrors. It's fun, whimsical, enjoyable to do, and fun to have. So.
And make money at the same
And make
time.
money at the same time.
You can't knock it,
Yeah,
right?
my goal is to be worldwide, and so far I'm actually in Spain, China, and England, as well as
Excellent.
most of the United States. So.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's terrific. Well, and of course, on this half of the show, we're going to be talking about women entrepreneurs who are just a little younger than what we talked about on the first half of the show. And so the program is called It's Her Business. And so, Tiffany, I'm going to let you tell the audience all about it.
Sure, and I'll let Pixie chime in too. It's Her Business is a teen entrepreneurial conference. It is in its 10th year.
Okay.
We recruit local girls 15 to 18 here in Duval County, as well as the surrounding counties as well. Clay, Nassau, St. John's. Anybody is welcome. Public, private school, doesn't matter.
Homeschool even.
Yes, thank you. Homeschool.
Okay.
So they come to the conference and they are basically paired up with a mentor. So there'll be tables, and I think it's 1 to 4, I guess is the ratio. So we have about 30 local business owners, women that volunteer their time to come mentor the young ladies. They go through an agenda for the day, have activities. So hopefully when they leave, they're going to feel confident and have the empowerment to go start their own business and have created relationships throughout the day.
Excellent. Now, Pixie, I know you've been involved in the It's Her Business program for a number of years now. So why don't you come from the perspective of what has it meant to you? Because you keep coming back, so you're getting something out of it. Okay?
When one of the mentees, the light bulb goes off and they put their phone down and they really get engaged in the process and they want to learn more, and they're asking questions, and the mentors we're not feeling we're having to pull the information from them, that's priceless. Because getting that demographic and age group of young girls engaged when they don't know who we are, and here we are talking to them about business and finance, and they're thinking, why am I here? But when they get it, that's the reason I keep coming back, because it's so empowering for me to realize that I haven't made an impact here. They're actually curious about what I do, how I started it, why I started it, and of course the number one question is, how much money do you make?
Of course.
Yes. And it's great to be able to say it depends on how hard you want to work.
Which I think is an excellent message to get across, because I think in some cases in this generation, they feel somewhat entitled.
Yes.
You know, and they really haven't had much disappointment to realize that if you're going to be successful, you have to work for it. So, Tiffany, walk us through the day, because, there may be somebody in the audience, whether it's a teenage girl or whether it's a parent of a teenage girl or someone who knows a teenage girl, who might be thinking, well, this sounds kind of interesting for this person that I know. Kind of what could they expect? When is it? What's the time frame? And sort of walk us through that, if you would.
Sure. The date is Friday, March 6th.
Okay.
It's going to be at the UNF University Center. It's from 8 to 2. So basically, the young ladies come in, and there's a great intro to the beginning of the day, because we want to get them awake and ready to go. They're placed at their tables, and then they're assigned to that mentor for the rest of the day.
Okay.
So throughout the day, there's going to be activities. Some of the activities is product in a box, where they receive a box of random materials, and they actually have to unpack it. And this teaches them
marketing and the opportunity to design. Flip side of that this year is we're going to have somebody kind of scribing and figuring out cost and all of those things as they unpack their product. We're also going to do something this year that's new called What's Your Brand? And we think that's very important to talk about, especially these days. What is your brand? What does that look like? So we're going to start out with logos that are easily recognizable and have them kind of jot it down and segue into what's your brand going to be. How important it is to start now and think of your future. Not only the brand of your company, but how you present yourself. Your social media branding, the way you portray yourself, the way you communicate, your emails, your signatures, your texting. To be a professional women business owner, what is that going to look like? Because you're not only selling your product, you're selling yourself. And as we know, as I'm learning from my fantastic friends here, it's about relationship building, it's about networking, and creating those clients, if you will, and bringing them in. So you could have a great product, but if you're not selling yourself along with the product, you may not be as successful. So we're really excited about that activity. Am I leaving? I'm sure there's some more I might be leaving out.
No, I think the social media is a big piece of it, because 25 years ago when I started my business, I didn't have to worry about Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, all these components. And these young girls were working to get the message across to them that this follows you. This is not a snapshot in your life. I mean, there are companies that go on these social media sites to see what your profile looks like. Do they want to hire you? And I don't believe that they really understand that depth of what they're doing now for themselves and how they want to present themselves. And that's really important.
It's huge.
Yes.
It is huge. Because I have gone to my granddaughter's Facebook pages and been appalled at some of the stuff that's on there.
Yes.
And, they don't get it at 14 or 16. They don't understand, maybe I'm not even in high school yet. I mean, it's more about when I'm a junior and my SAT scores. No. Not in this day and age. So that is really huge.
And I think and sometimes relating stories, just using Lance Armstrong, for instance, here's this man who won these 7 Tour de France's, and years later, way down the road, something surfaces from his past. And that's what we try to let them understand, is that doesn't mean it's going to impact you at this moment.
Right.
It's down the road, because you never know who's looking in the closet.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Pixie, from your 6 years of doing this, what are some of the business ideas that you've seen the girls come up with?
Oh my gosh. It's been amazing. There has been one that was really good last year, is they made this future where you could put your information in, and you put in a quarter, maybe it was $19.99, whatever it was, and based on the information you put in, that's what your future looked like. And it was, and it changed. Somebody made a little camera, so it was ingenious. I'm thinking, who would have thought of that?
There's an app for that.
There's an app for that, and before long there might be.
Exactly.
There have actually been young women who have come in who have already started businesses. From everything from creating their own bath and body products to lip glosses to, of course, babysitting, but some are even interning at that young age, with graphic designers and marketing individuals. So it's really kind of cool to see the wide variety of young women that come.
It's amazing to me when you see a young person like that who knows what it is they want to do. I still haven't figured it out. I think some days, it's just so amazing to me. So I think this is a wonderful venue to allow these girls to, sometimes it's just a matter of giving somebody permission.
Yes.
Exactly.
It's okay for you to dream this dream.
Exactly. And when they do the product in a box, that's one thing, because they'll start out and go, oh, this is silly, or we shouldn't do that. And I've always told my mentees, nothing is silly. Because you never know. Do you think the first person who thought about creating an app for an iPhone thought it was going to be silly, and now they're walking away a millionaire? Of course not. So dare to dream. Don't worry what the outcome is until it happens.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Let's go through the particulars again before we run out of time. We've got a few minutes.
Yes, March 6th at the University Center, 8 to 2. girls 15 to 18 from Duval and surrounding counties. We are also looking for more mentors for the girls.
Just going to ask you that question.
Yes, local business owners, please go to sbdc.unf.edu
Okay.
for more information. But we'd love to have more mentors there, and you will learn just as much as the girls as you talk about your experiences, and also, you know, it may click at the end of the day and they figure out exactly what they want to do. So that's the exciting part, for them to leave empowered and have the confidence, because times are changing a little
Right.
slowly but surely. So it'd be nice to empower our girls to
And it's
own their
important to
success.
let them know, too, that there's no cost to the young women, the girls.
Oh, good point.
It is
Good
free
point.
to them. We work mainly all on sponsorship. So if somebody wants to sponsor a girl, it's $100 for the day. We're happy to take that donation. They can sponsor any part of it, and we would love to have access left over so we don't have to work so hard next year for sponsorships. So it can be any amount of
Which is a
money.
good question. Who are your sponsors?
Well, I know we actually just received a lovely donation from Natural Life, so thank you very much, Natural Life. So we are obtaining donations just for goodie bags as well, but the big donors...
Women business owners.
Business
is a-
owners.
Okay.
And so I know we have some individual sponsors that are providing, funds for it.
Okay. Now, there's not bus transportation for the girls, correct? If I register my daughter, I need to make sure that I get her there
Correct.
and pick her up,
Mhm.
correct?
The local schools are responsible for obtaining their own transportation, usually through the bus system.
Now, can they find out about this program through the local schools?
Yes, Beth Trammell has done a great job of distributing the flyer to Duval County. Unsure of how many girls we have coming, but yes, they definitely are recruiting the young ladies from the public schools.
Is that through the guidance counseling arena? That would be my
I believe so.
first
Okay.
suggestion. We'll
Okay.
check with the guidance counselors.
So if somebody, again, has a young woman that might be interested, they could go to their school, to the
Right.
guidance office, and perhaps find that information, or they could go to sbdc.unf.edu for
Correct.
more information,
Yes.
correct? And is there a deadline to sign up?
That I'm not too. I'm going to refer
I
that to
believe
you.
that for the mentors, we actually have a waiting list, because we know that something sometimes happens with business. So for mentors, we can wait until the week before. I believe with the girls that we like to have that solidified with about 2 to 3 weeks prior to the event.
Okay.
So that we know. And
So we have a couple of weeks yet.
Right.
Okay, okay. Anything else that you want to contribute about the event? I know, Tiffany, this is your first event.
Yes.
So you're kind of, feeling your way here.
Yes,
But Pixie, any little nuggets you want to share?
Being a mentor this year is going to be a lot of fun, a little bit different twist on some things. We always looking for creative ways to engage the girls from the start. So if you want to be a mentor, just know that we ask you to have an open mind and be ready to play. And there is a portion of the event where the girls get to interview the mentors. And that's really empowering for both the girls and the mentors, because some of the questions can be quite, wow, I never thought somebody would ask that about business. So that's fun. And the girls, we do provide lunch for the girls too, so that if someone wants to sponsor, to know that that covers that as well.
Okay, okay. Ladies, I want to thank you for being
Thank
here
you.
today. I know it's going to be a great event. It always is.
yes.
And you in the audience, thank you for joining us today. And remember, if you're a woman who owns a business and you would like to be a mentor for It's Her Business on March 6th, that you can go to the Small Business Development Center website, sbdc.unf.edu, and find out more information. Just click on the It's Her Business link. So again, thank you. Thank you for
Thanks,
joining
Nancy.
us today. And come back next time when we'll be speaking of business. Bye now.
You're watching Public Access on Xfinity 99, exclusive programming for Jacksonville Xfinity subscribers.
Bye now.